what's interesting is that I think you're starting to see a rise in the conservative commentary coming from the gaming community.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, the guys I watch now for conservative commentary are Critical Drinker.
Yep. Critical Drinker's great.
RK. That's who I got. The Quartering.
Yep.
That's who I watch.
Yeah, the Quartering. I've watched the Quartering for years.
He's the hardest working man in show business.
So the Quartering, and I still got his shirt. I actually supported one of his ventures. He made a gaming site, and it was just a gaming site. There was no politics in it. There was no, and I can't remember what the exact name of the shirt was, but it said I support like I can't remember exactly what it said, but anyway, I supported it. And the website stayed up for like 6 months, and then he just couldn't. There was not enough funding because you got to pay editors, you got to pay people to write the stuff, and all that, and he just couldn't make it, which was a shame. But I am glad to see he's very successful. But you're right. Who works harder than that man? He does like 6 videos a day.
He does 4 videos a day.
I see it, and depending on if there's breaking news, he'll have more. Like, dude's crazy.
4 videos a day, an hour apart. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm sure he gets up in the morning, he does all of them. But
he probably does, but once again, if there's breaking news, he'll have video out.
You have to wear 4 different shirts a day.
Yeah.
And
he's got he's got several employees, he's got editors, and he's got I can't remember her name, but she basically takes care of all of his social media. So, she does all of his social media stuff. Like,
what people say about Candace Owens, that's the only reason I'm thinking about it. I don't know if the Quartering says it or Benny Johnson said it. I think it was Benny because they were at a UFC event. And he said when you're around her, she is an absolute sweethart.
Yeah.
When you're around her.
But when you put her on
she's
a camera.
She's an attack dog when she's going out there and doing that stuff that she does. But and I could see that she's very sweet and very kind. And
but don't get in her way.
I think the Daily Wire is wrong here. I think they're wrong. I think they wanted to part ways, and this is okay. Good, it happened. It needed to happen, but the way that they went about it was just fire.
I would like to see.
We need to see the
I want to see both. I want to see both sides what they actually say. Kansas only came out with that tweet or whatever, but I want to hear her story, and I want to hear Daily Wire story, and then somewhere in between is probably where.
Well, we need to hear from Daily Wire why she was terminated.
Yeah.
She says it's because she was anti-Semitic.
But if that's the case, then I support Candace.
And if it's something different,
100%.
If it's constant, like
badgering that she could have been capable of.
Yeah.
I mean,
if it was constant disobedience or I don't know.
Because she was the only token black person there, and Daily Wire's racist.
This video's
Stay
going.
In your lane.
You keep saying that R word. This video's going nowhere.
Race.
Why can other people say it?
They don't say it anymore.
Did you request? I can't. You're going to blow that thing up.
That's about judging.
Oh, I can't.
I can't make that any bigger, I don't think.
Oh, gosh. Not another judging thing.
No, he's on our side.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, we did a whole show on that
monitor.
stuff.
Yeah, we need a bigger monitor. We can't see
right
any
over
of this
there.
stuff.
It was just like.
That'll be the next upgrade. Big screen. Now I can see. I can't see any of that.
Judging.
Upper echelon.
Well, you mentioned gamers being. You mentioned gamers.
Oh, my gosh. These guys are hilarious. And what's funny is.
Just one guy. But.
I think gamers. No, I'm talking about. I'm talking about arcade, neurotic, and all this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was interesting, I've seen it over the years, that the gaming community always kind of leaned left.
Oh, yeah.
They did, but they didn't lean like crazy left. You know what I mean?
Developers do.
Developers do, yes.
Yeah.
They do now. They didn't years ago.
Because they're being hired by corporations who had followed the DEI protocol.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's still that way. We just saw the termination of Rooster Teeth. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, they closed their doors. They're gone.
Why?
Well, because they've been very, in my opinion, political for the last 5 years. I stopped watching their stuff a couple years ago because they wouldn't keep their politics out of their video games. They blocked me on Twitter for saying, I remember when you guys used to play video games and not focus on politics.
Really?
Yeah.
They were responsible for Red versus Blue, great successful series, and all of that is gone. They closed their doors.
Oh, speaking of which, BioWare came out on Easter and did a big thing promoting transgenders.
Did they?
Oh yeah,
I didn't see this.
Bioware's like we were the first video companies to do this. And
They really were,
to
honestly.
put them in there and all this stuff, and then they
Can we
turn
just
their
not wait till-
replies off.
Can we just not wait till May? I mean, they get the whole month.
Yeah.
Why does
That
it
was
got to start
June.
in March?
June.
Is it June?
I
Whatever.
don't think it ever stops.
It just starts.
It just seems like
It's just constant.
every month is gay month.
It's got to be the longest celebrated anything for. Let's say
It's a
who
whole
gets a
month.
whole month.
Well, Black History
Black
Month.
History gets a month too.
Yeah. But, that's
I don't get a
Black
month.
history.
My
It's
skin
not
color
just-
doesn't. My skin color doesn't get a month.
you
We
you
get the other
whole
10.
year.
We get
You get the whole
we get
year.
the
You
You
rest.
get the whole
Okay.
year,
That's
JR.
right.
We get the
White
rest.
We have
Supremacist.
heterosexual rights every day.
Yeah.
Oh, do we? We have less than them, I think. But
We want people to see us.
I don't want people to see me. I just
No, not at all. I want to be.
We want to be able to flaunt our
In the
genitalia wherever we
background.
want to. Unless we've had it cut off.
then you can't flaunt it anymore.
No.
No. You can flaunt my foot up your rear end.
So you mentioned gamers being conservative now. So this is what you guys called Gamergate 2. You're going to take the lead on this because I've not followed it at all.
I honestly,
no Gamergate
I
stuff in
hear
racing
neurotic
games.
people talking about it. Well, what has happened is that they've come out with this video game, and they started this several years ago. The video games, the protagonist in the video games, if it was a female, they started to increasingly make them more ugly as
Yes.
they were going along. And all of a sudden, it was like you're sexualizing these females within the games.
It's like,
Well, but the reason why they're doing that is because most people who play the games are guys.
yes, 80-some-odd% of gamers are male, usually white.
Yes.
Like, it's just what it is.
Right. So the video game is trying to make some money.
Yeah.
And so what it does, it says, well, we're going to cater to. That's what companies do. For the love of God, that's what they do. They cater to what their people want.
That is how you make money.
And so these little white boys out there playing games, they want big boobies. You
Yeah.
know. And so that's why. Why do you think HBO has titties in every show?
it makes them money, apparently.
Because it makes them money.
Yeah.
And so every show they just come out, they could do. I think come out with a recreation of Kindergarten Cop, and it's going to have boobies in it. I mean, they just are. And it's just and so they did that in video games, and so they sexualized the women in there because it's
Absolutely.
what the guys were attracted to.
Yeah. But here's the other thing. Who wants ugly people in their video game?
Nobody does.
Nobody wants that. I don't
No.
want an ugly dude in a video game. Like, if I'm going to play as a dude, I want him to be like, awesome and buff.
I don't know.
and, like,
I know. They I started watching Halo. You watched Halo, I think.
Yes, I watched a couple episodes.
I
I'm st-
refuse.
I'm
I
st-
won't do it.
I'm a little upset that we saw Master Chief's face, but he's a burly looking guy. I prefer Master Chief to be kind of ugly.
You think so?
Yeah.
Hmm.
When you understand the process for a Spartan, not a.
I prefer not knowing what he looks like at all.
But we talked about this. And this is not related to what we're trying to get into at all. But it wasn't like a Mandalorian thing. Spartans took their helmets off. It's just John's face we hadn't seen.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we were breaking some sort of rule.
Yeah.
Because
And
all
I-
the other Spartans, you'd seen their face.
Right.
Yeah.
You've seen all of them
Yeah.
by this point. Yes. And it's not like, but it's like he took it off for a very good reason, but he left it off for like the whole episode too. And it's just like that doesn't make
Once again,
that's not needed.
It's a good show. You need to.
It is
No,
good. It
I
is
won't.
good.
I won't watch it.
It
if
is
he
good.
took his helmet off, boom, done.
It
But
is
there's
over.
no law against him not
Right.
taking it off.
But there is
But-
because
but-
you've never seen his face.
But
Like-
Mike, when you're playing Halo 3 and Halo 4 and you're right on the edge of seeing him without his helmet, you wanted to see it.
I wanted, but they never showed it.
But now
That's
you
the
can't
way
see
it
it.
should have been.
But now you can see
No,
it.
because now I'm
no,
going to look
now
at
you're
him,
just being silly.
and I'm going to put him in the game when I play it, and I don't want that. I've got my own version of him. It's just like when you read a book.
It's a good version.
When you read the Jack Reacher books or whatever books,
Right.
you have a image
Right,
of what this
100%.
dude is. And when they change
that's-
that
it's the new
image
guy.
Right.
and make it sissy, you're like, ugh.
Tom Cruise's Jack Reacher.
Exactly. That ruined the
That
show
was a
for you,
joke.
didn't it?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not watching Halo, because if I see this dude and he's not what I
Okay, can
imagine,
understand that.
I'm telling you,
it's
it's
going
a-
to ruin the show.
it's a good representation.
I don't know if it will be. I
It
can't
is.
do
I think
It
it
is.
is. I think
It
it really
is.
is.
I can't do it.
I think they do a good
It
job
doesn't
of it.
sound anything.
How many gay people have they had in it?
2 episodes in, 0.
Okay, 2 episodes in. That doesn't give me a
That's
whole
two-
lot.
that's
give
2
them
hours.
time.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
2
give him
hours.
like,
They got picked up for season 2, so that means
Season
there's
2
a
is
lot
already
of gays.
Season 2 is already airing. Yeah, that's why we started watching.
but I'm
it.
just saying that
probably
They made it through season 1, so now they're like,
there-
now we're gonna throw all
There's gonna be Spartans with.
You got that chick coming out with the acolyte in Star Wars,
Oh my god!
who basically they just showed showed the ratio on it.
They hate men.
It was 100,000, like 600,000 dislikes.
Yeah.
Because the dyke that runs it is basically just like, these shows have to represent how I feel and who I am as a lesbian. Oh yeah, that's a way to kill it.
Yeah. So let's not give the fans who pay for all of this stuff. Let's not give the fans what they want, so they'll come and watch it and support it. Let's make it what I want.
Right.
Garbage.
Rogue One is the best Star Wars movie other than the original trilogy.
Agreed.
It's better than the original trilogy.
Oh, you. Well,
I don't know if I go that
just
far.
for nostalgia's sake, no.
Rogue One was a great movie.
I think.
And Rogue One had a female lead.
Had a female lead
And
who was a
no
strong
one-
female lead.
And no one cared.
And no
we
one-
loved it.
That dies.
Well, everybody
they all
liked that
died.
movie, which was great. I'm just saying.
Honestly, that was a great ending.
Yeah, it was. Like that.
I-
was-
Well, it
That
had
would-
to
it
end that
bothered
way
me-
because none of the characters exist beyond that point.
yeah.
Well, because in the first one, they said a lot about the spies died. Was it Batha?
I don't remember.
Well, she's sitting there. She's talking about as the leader, and she's talking about the Death Star plans, and she said a lot of spies died. I think she called it Beth. I don't know, but it was good the way that it ended.
And I would have enjoyed episodes 4 through 6 had it came out when visual effects were in a better
If
spot.
Jar Jar Binks would have not been
That's
in
it.
1 through 3.
That's my
I would
issue with
enjoy
the.
that.
Oh
with
yeah, I mean 100%. But at the same time, I don't think you would get the same feel with 4 through 6
No, I don't think you would either. I feel like it
because they
had to
weren't
have
so
that.
reliant upon it that it was more real.
Yeah,
That when it
it's just something different. I don't know.
it was very because everything that they did was actually made by hand, and they had to actually do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what adds to it.
Yeah.
I will say this.
I think one's a masterpiece. Gosh, going to the theater to see that,
Oh,
it
yeah.
was a unbelievable
I
experience.
bet it was.
I will say this. I know that Hayden Christensen was generally hated for his role as Anakin.
I think he's a nice guy, though.
He is. But the current generation loves him. Like your age Star Wars fans didn't appreciate Hayden. Everybody else loves him. Like Comic-Con was madness because he was there. Him and Rosario Dawson.
Who nobody cares about. Who's
They
also
do
in the
now
Star
because
Wars
she's
universe.
Ahsoka. They do now.
Oh, that show stinks too.
That show did very well, and I actually liked that show, but because Anakin was in it.
And you like Christopher Nolan movies too.
I have not watched any Star Wars since that they brought Rey out. I watched the first one with her and went and turned it off and never watched it again.
I actually thought that was a good movie.
I don't
So,
love them, but I don't
here's the
Force
dislike.
Awakens, I liked it.
Rey gets trapped and she's in this thing and she's like, how am I going to get out? I'm going to use the Force. No one's going to show me how.
Yeah.
I'm just going to magically start using
Wait
it.
a minute. I've seen all 3 movies.
Yeah,
How
I'm
did
sure
she
you have.
have the Force?
She inherited it.
She's
She just knew how to use it.
no, she's a descendant of Sidious. That's what they end up proving.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
Oh,
okay.
well, see, I didn't know that because I
Yeah.
didn't watch the movies because I didn't give two
Okay,
craps after that.
Darth Sidious. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Because I was sitting there going, wait a minute, how did she even wind up
because
with it?
they toyed with that whole is she related to the Skywalker somehow for 3 movies, and it turns out she's a descendant of Sidious. Yeah.
Oh, well, dang. I still don't like it. Sorry.
I don't
watched
even
I watched
remember-
the first one. I was like, nope, I'm out.
I don't even remember the Clone Wars. I actually saw the movie. I don't remember any of
Now,
it.
see,
I
I
can watch them
remember
tonight and be
those.
like a new one.
I remember all those. I remember 1 through 3 really well.
So I don't know if you have Disney or not at the moment. I know
No.
you go in and out of
No.
that, but
No.
Mandalorian's absolutely great. Some of the greatest Star
Oh,
Wars
nope.
content that's ever been made.
I can't do it.
Mandalorian is great. Ahsoka's really good.
No,
They got
I
rid
don't
of
like it either.
They got rid of Gina Carino and I stopped watching.
Right.
Anything that Disney puts out, I
and
will
they're
not watch.
and they're regretting that. She may be coming back. There's some shenanigans happening there. But
I hope she doesn't.
I hope she does.
I hope she doesn't. Disney is a crooked, evil organization
It
that
is.
needs
It
to
really
burn
is.
to
it
the
depends
ground.
though if they bend themselves to get somebody like that back.
It doesn't matter.
But
They won't change.
Kathleen Kennedy is destroying Star
Disney
Wars.
will not change. Disney is setting its ways.
And they don't care.
And they don't care. They're losing billions of dollars. They don't care. They're going to go down with the ship. Let them go down.
Yep.
I would not miss them one bit if Disney closed their doors tomorrow. I don't give a crap. Shut it down.
But when you do the
Better
preview
off.
for Acolyte and it comes out,
I wish somebody
and-
else
and
would take over Star Wars.
there's not a single
Yes.
white kid. You've got like these 14 little kids are out there, and there's not a single white kid.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I saw that.
That's purposeful, and so.
It's inclusive.
But it's racism.
It's inclusivism.
If
Or some
you're being
inclusivism.
inclusive, except for white people, that's
Yeah.
racism. That's the very definition of racism.
And isn't it a white chick that's producing the
Yes.
show?
I'm sure she hates being white,
She probably does. She probably has white guilt.
but they're going to.
White what?
White guilt.
Oh, Gil.
when you
I thought you
feel
said Gil. I was like,
Oh,
I
she
don't know
might
how
have
that
guilt.
works.
She might be an alien. Who knows?
But we know in space everybody's gay anyway.
If you played Mass Effect, everybody in space is gay.
No, Shepard's not gay.
He can be.
He can be though. Your Shepard wasn't gay,
But he can be.
Shepard can be gay.
Oh, Caden.
Oh yeah, very first one. You kidding me?
And
That's why I
James,
killed.
yeah.
I mean, that's why I'll let him die in the first one.
You can't romance James because James is straight.
100%. Yeah, that's true. James is. Who's the other one?
Cortez. They had Cortez.
Cortez.
Yeah.
He was in there. But other than that,
Could you be gay with Joker?
no,
Okay.
you cannot romance Joker.
I didn't know. I never tried, so I didn't know.
I didn't either. You ever play a female character?
No. Because that means if I'm going to romance, I have to romance a dude, and I'm
That's
not
never
doing
going to
that.
happen.
And I'm not romancing a chick because then it's gay. So guess what? I'm a male character every single time I play a game.
I am too.
I cannot play as a chick
I don't think.
unless the game is designed to play as a chick.
What does it say about a guy who plays a female character?
But
It depends.
It
Is he
depends.
Oh, we
going-
could get it. Oh gosh, it's gonna be great.
Tomb Raider?
We got to post
Tomb
this.
Raider's-
We'll get so
Tomb-
much hate.
Is he going after a female romance interest or male romance interest? That might say a lot about him right there.
That would.
Okay. You've
Latent
got
homosexual.
you've got Assassin's Creed where you can choose your sex at the beginning. You're either the brother or the sister, but there's no romance option.
Okay, then it's fine. Play as either one.
Okay.
I'm fine. If
Tomb
there's no
Raider.
romance, yeah, Tomb Raider, yeah.
There's
if
no option, but
or if
everybody's
there is.
enjoyed playing as her.
Or if there is, and there is a setup romance in it, which I don't know if there is in Tomb Raider or not. I've not played all the way through it. But let's say there is a setup romance in it. That's okay because it's already like set up.
You-
I'm
you
still
choosing
not
your-
romancing the guy.
No, you're not romancing him. That's what I'm saying. If it was like
It's
set
part
up
of the
through
story.
game.
Oh,
Like it's part of the
but
story.
still,
That I don't feel gay then because it's not my created character, and I'm not going after a dude.
you're not pursuing
yes.
the gayness.
Now, if you're pursuing the dude
I get it.
and you're
yeah.
playing the female character, I got questions.
Hmm.
That's all I got.
But Starfield, you got
See, I
four.
play-
You got 4 companions in Starfield, and all of them are bisexual.
Yeah.
So the
gotta keep their options
first guy
open.
gets on there and he starts telling a story about his husband. Well, you're off the ship. The second guy gets on there.
That's
and,
not
and then
inclusive.
at the bottom of all the list, there's a flirt option. It's like you're off the ship. So now it's just me and the 2 lesbians on the ship, and the asexual robot. That's it. That's all the companions you have in Starfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those 2 wear no makeup and are butt ugly.
I did hear that No Man's Sky got a ship update,
It did.
and they consider it the last reason to have played Starfield was the shipbuilding, and it's no longer there.
Yep. Yeah, they got a massive shipbuilding update. I haven't checked it out yet, but
Really?
yeah. And
You'll be
I'm
all
telling
over
you,
that next.
if you played No Man's Sky when it first came out, which it was
It was
garbage.
hot garbage. Yeah.
To the point I last played it last year. It is 100% a different game. It is phenomenal.
I might look at it.
now. It's
No Man's
Starfield, they got to do
it is
something.
more survival oriented. So it's
Yeah.
more of
Like
you're
you could land on a
exploring
planet and not
planets,
breathe.
and you're building ships and you're exploring more.
I didn't like that. I didn't like the survival aspect. 'Cause
Now-
I never play survival in any game I did.
It's not a bad survival though. It's easy to survive in that game.
Yeah.
It really is. It's just not. You're not going to be landing on planets just destroying everything. You know what I
Right.
mean? You're not going to be shooting everything. There's bad things that come after you, but
But it's sad, really, how far Bethesda's fallen. Because I went back, I told you guys, I went back and played a little Skyrim. And you're just,
all hail Skyrim.
that game's a masterpiece.
It 100%.
That may be the greatest game ever.
That is my second favorite game. My second favorite game on my high list of all time.
Yeah. And you can put
Final Fantasies at the
Final
top.
Fantasy VII is 100% on top.
the mods,
But-
I don't want to spend the time putting 1,000 mods in there to make it look next
oh,
gen.
but it would look so. It looks so.
But
good,
you can make
though.
it, I mean,
Yeah.
even, I put 4 in there and made it look better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you could do that. You can change the gameplay, and you can change the camera and all this stuff, and you can make it, and it's really awesome. But it's just the amount of content that it was just like Bethesda said, we're not making another game ever, and this is the last one, and we're going to put everything that we have into this game.
And I don't even think it was built that way, right? I don't know that they set out to build greatness with that game.
Yeah,
Because it
Oblivion,
doesn't run-
I didn't like Oblivion.
It doesn't run particularly well.
I
right?
cared
mean,
for Oblivion. I liked Oblivion. It was,
Oh gosh, the dialogue and all that stuff was choppy as all.
but
get
it
out.
was. What year did that come out? Like,
Yeah,
I mean, it
But-
was
but
still
it's like
fun.
Dragon Age Origins.
Yeah, it was still cool because it was
Dragon
like,
Age Origins is a fantastic game.
It was
but,
like, look
but
at this
back
game.
then, so that was the first Elder Scrolls to come to a console, I think. And
Now,
they backdated some of them.
Did you play Oblivion after you played Skyrim?
That's the only way to have played it on a console.
Yes.
That's why.
Yeah.
Now, if you would have played Oblivion first, you would like, oh, this is a great game.
Right.
After you play Skyrim, it's not. Yeah, it's not as good.
But that's the same. When Skyrim came out, it was an Elder Scrolls game on a console. I don't think they set out to make the world's greatest game that was going to last 20 years.
yeah,
And now every big game that comes out
they're trying
is set
to do
out
that.
to be the best game ever, and
Yeah.
they all fail.
And they're because they're all compared to Skyrim.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Skyrim is the benchmark. And Bethesda Starfield comes out without Skyrim. Starfield's a good game.
Mhm.
But they're like, this is the same company that did Skyrim. Why?
Well, did
why?
you just see Dragon's Dogma? The reviews for it.
I like the
is-
first one.
So they're not complaining. It's not a good game. Everybody says like gameplay wise, it is a 9 out of 10. Like it's a fantastic game.
Yeah.
Lots of content. The main concern is when it released on PC. The I can't remember if it was Digital Foundry or who did it. Run here's how it runs on your PC. Dude had a 4090 with a Threadripper, getting 35 frames a second out in the open world in combat. Like it runs like garbage. So it's not optimized. It's
Yeah.
almost like they rushed it out.
Right.
And then on top of it, when they were giving the demos to all the guys to play for pre-reviews, they didn't have any microtransactions in it. So everybody's like, yeah. Guess what they did on the release?
Yeah.
They added microtransactions, which a lot of guys will say you can play through the game and never touch a microtransaction.
Right.
It doesn't.
100%.
But it's the fact that they put it in there. They didn't give it to the guys when they were reviewing the copies, but when it launched, they updated it to where there's
Yeah.
microtransactions.
They put N7 armor.
So
in.
why in a single player game do you need microtransactions? Give me all the content in the game when I purchase it for $70 now. A game costs $70.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I not getting all the content in that game? Because if you have microtransactions day one, that means you've already made the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's there. Give it to me. A year from now, you want to put more stuff in the game? Okay, I'm fine with adding it then. But
It
day
depends.
one-
It depends on the game for me. Like they did that with Mass Effect 3. Remember?
What was the game that had the free DLCs?
Witcher did that for a while.
You were talking. Oh,
So,
it was the Witcher.
So Witcher did the only DLC you had to pay for was the last one, I believe, which
Wild
was
Hunt.
when and you paid $30 for the expansion, and it was like a 40-hour expansion. Like
Yeah.
it was a huge expansion. There was another that did.
Because
free
I was thinking about
DLCs too.
when you were talking about this stuff. It's like there was a game that came out. And they prided themselves on not no one.
Yeah,
is
it was
gonna
CD
pay for the
Projekt Red.
DLC.
It was before they released Cyberpunk. Yeah, Ugh. But
I can't remember
No
what it
Man's
was.
Sky was the same way. All of their updates have been free, so all of their new content is free.
It was The Witcher. It was The Witcher.
So it's
yeah.
probably The Witcher. Yeah, the last one you had to pay for, but they announced that they said we're going to release a couple DLCs, and their free DLCs were like 10 to 15 hour content. So I mean, it wasn't like here's a skin. I mean, it was actual
But
content.
I tell you why I watch videos on Warhammer. Oh my gosh, that gameplay is unreal.
Which one?
40K.
Well, I mean, so 40.
I don't know anything about
So
this nerd lore here.
oh, I love it so much. I can talk about that. for hours.
They actually they asked Henry C what his favorite faction was, and he said it. And I had no idea what it was.
He's a custody.
Oh, that's what he said.
Yeah, custodes. Yeah, which are I won't get into it. I'm sorry.
I was
I
like,
want to in a bad way. I
God.
love 40K. I sit there and
I
watch.
I watched the gameplay, and it was just Unreal
yeah.
5 is going to be a great engine.
Yeah, it is.
All of them before that have been great.
Yeah, Unreal
3,
5
4.
though, like they've
5's
been
going to be great.
they've been putting pictures of real
5 is
people
Unreal.
versus what 5 can do, and in most cases, when they were giving people the option to pick which one was real, they were picking the Unreal Engine one over the actual real picture almost every time.
Well, they won't be able to.
Like it's almost getting too good.
Well, that's why consoles are going to go by the wayside, because consoles won't be able to keep up.
So
anymore.
I just heard. I don't know. I haven't checked it. I saw it on my phone right before I got here. NVIDIA actually bought the console rights from Microsoft. So I don't know what
Holy
that
cow.
means, but does that? It says something about NVIDIA had the rights to the Xbox console, not the whole platform or whatever, but the console. I don't know. I just saw it like flash across my thing.
Oh, that's great. World leader in artificial intelligence computing.
Yeah, and that. I don't know. Type NVIDIA Microsoft and see what comes up. Like I said, I'm not even sure where it was at. It was just on my feed.
Integrations.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Major new integrations.
Oh, they're just going to build massive artificial intelligence and take over the world.
No.
NVIDIA buys Xbox brand from Microsoft.
Oh.
Next gen Xbox. Maybe that's what I saw.
Has dual GPUs.
But they're going to have to anymore if they're going to keep up with
PlayStation
PC.
6 is going to be unreal when it comes out.
Oh my gosh, they're all going to be unreal. I mean,
well, they're going to get to a point. They're going to get a price point though where it won't be
Yeah.
sustainable.
that's the scary part though. So if NVIDIA actually did buy the Xbox, NVIDIA's not going to take a loss on the Xbox like Microsoft did.
Right.
Because Microsoft's selling games. NVIDIA's not selling games. So NVIDIA's not going to take a loss on a console. So that's a scary thought.
It's April Fool's.
Oh, was it? Okay.
A parent April Fool's Day post declares that NVIDIA bought the Xbox
Because I
brand.
saw it scroll through my thing today.
Oh, that's good. That was really good.
That was good.
Because that's just
That
out of left field. You would never even think of writing that.
yeah.
Alarmed many gamers. Yeah.
I was about to say, because NVIDIA's not taking the console loss, but
Because they're going to take your console and they're going to make an artificial intelligence sit in your house and then control.
NVIDIA, didn't they make the N-Gate back? Didn't they try to make a portable?
they did.
Yeah.
I remember
You know,
that.
If they ever
Yeah.
get to the point where they start making like these little
Was it
consoles that have
in-game?
arms and legs, I'm going to be really nervous.
Little robots.
Yeah.
Kill you in your sleep.
It's coming.
Oh, yeah, probably good. So the Gamergate, what were you talking about that 30 minutes ago?
We tried to talk about. We were talking about
You got to
conservative.
drive around circles here in a little bit.
We're fine. We tried to talk about conservatives and gamers and gaming, and then we went on to talk about just all the video games we like for the next half an hour.
It's
But
true.
You guys have to tell me what this
I think
is all about.
I think seriously we decided to change it over. Just do Christian gaming.
Christian gaming.
Christian game.
Yeah, because politics gets boring and nobody cares about religious issues.
At the very least, we should have a section of the show that is that.
Just dedicated to gaming out. The
My,
gaming.
my problem is I only play one game at a time. So
But you watch enough YouTube though. You
I do. I see what's going
you're
on.
like
out
me.
there.
I watch enough YouTube. I know about the games that I haven't played.
Right.
Like
Mike doesn't even play games right now.
I
so-
don't. I just watch YouTube.
Like he's been on me to play Helldivers with him because I stay up later than
Oh,
him.
It is true.
Okay.
And all last week, I'm like 8 o'clock in the evening. I was like, hey, let's play Helldivers tonight. He's sleeping.
No.
Oh,
it
my,
was,
yeah, he does that.
it was eight.
Because you played with him, and that's it.
It was 8:45. I looked at Discord and I saw you on idle, and I went, "I'm tired. I'm going to bed."
8:45.
Well, I went to bed to watch TV, and then I put my phone on my charger. So guess what happens? It goes night night.
Well, what you need to do, if you want to know what Gamergate is, just pick up a before and after photo of the chick protagonist from Horizon Zero Dawn.
Dawn.
Because she. I mean,
This guy's playing it real well. Upper Echelon's really good.
Yeah, he is.
well, let's see.
I don't want to watch the whole thing, but we'll see what he's talking about here.
So is he actually going to describe Gamergate?
This video is brought to you by Surfshark. Stick around to hear more about the special offer they're providing to the
Well,
entire
we need to promote
Upper
that
Echelon
because we're
community.
using this video.
All right. Today's topic is obviously controversial, very controversial, but I'm going to do my best to navigate that in a particular way. What that means is that I need your help, you, the audience watching this right now, because the crux of the issue in play at the moment is general behavior. Right now, that probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but remember this, and towards the end of the video, I'll circle back to it with hopefully a
circle
much
back.
clearer articulation of what it is people can actually do to help.
You know, he's
So with all that said, Let's
Really?
begin.
Help it.
Right now,
I just-
as I make this,
What?
a company called
I
Sweet
said,
Baby.
he's not one of my favorites. I
I'll tell
can't.
you the reason I like him is when everybody started trying to cancel gamers for this and that, he dug into the truth and was on their side.
He does good reporting.
Yeah.
I can't. Something about his videos, just I can't do it.
They're very informative.
Maybe that's why.
Is dominating the gaming news cycle. It's the subject of I don't even know how many different articles now, decrying the gaming community as toxic, claiming that players are ill-informed, or any number of criticisms levied at the general industry player base.
Well, I do
Daring
know
to
on Steam
criticize this company
they have a
in any way,
designated post for the Sweet Baby.
And I have subscribed to it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I immediately was like, I want to know.
And
Yeah.
Starfield is one of the games that's Sweet
Oh,
Babies.
is
have their
it
tentacles
really?
on. Yeah.
So I didn't check out the whole list.
And that's why you have 4
Well,
sexual.
they got mad, so Sweet Baby tried to get his Steam account canceled and removed because he made
You knocked over John Wick. You're going
he
to die
made
for that.
he made a Steam page basically saying, "Hey, this company has been involved in these games," which is on their website, by the way.
100%.
Like you can go to their website and see the
Right.
exact same thing he put on Steam, and they tried to cancel him over it.
Yeah. Well, they
It's
were
like-
talking about the other night. They were talking about the Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I guess Morales is in 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like Peter Parker saying to Morales, like, "Well, they don't really. The city doesn't really need me anymore because they have you."
You mean the Spider-Verse, not Amazing Spider-Man.
The Spider-Verse.
Right, okay.
And it's
Yeah.
like,
You lost me. Okay.
and so the guys
Well,
were
no,
just
he's
like,
talking about Spider-Man 2, the game.
Right. Okay.
and so the guys were just like going. It's like that's Peter Parker.
Yeah,
That's
that is
Spider-Man.
That is Spider-Man.
Now,
Yeah.
Miles Morales is a great alternative Spider-Man. He really is. Like I've enjoyed playing him in the first game when they came out with the expansion or whatever. And I like the Spider-Verse, at least the first one. I haven't seen the second one. I probably
Right.
don't want to. It's probably all.
It's all about perspective. He was at Comic-Con, the guy that plays Miles Morales,
was he?
and he was not featured like Anakin and Ahsoka, where he was just off in the corner and nobody was in his line.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, so it's not as big as what something is making it.
Yeah, but just have Parker just say,
Yeah.
Here, I'm the white guy. I'm going to give it over to you.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was just there was no reason for that to happen.
Yeah.
Not at all.
And
the guys who are
here's the
talking
thing.
about this are not necessarily conservatives, but they are real big comic book guys.
And
Yeah.
the Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man game on PlayStation was fantastic. By the way, it was a great game.
Oh, that was a great game.
Fantastic.
You know they lost money on that game
Really?
because they put too much into it.
Well, I could believe that, but it was a great game.
Yeah.
So they take Peter Parker, the real Spider-Man, out of the second one.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in it, but they're phasing him out in the second game
Right.
already. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Well,
Like,
it's purposeful.
hey, by the
All
third
it is.
game, make 3-game series, and then after the third game, make Miles Morales, version of Spider-Man, and then have his own set of games. Like, I don't feel like it was necessary to do it right now, but. Oh, and by the way, God of War Ragnarok also had people of color Vikings, because that's historical.
We all know the long and storied history of the Black Vikings.
Interesting. I've watched every Viking television show there is. I don't think I've seen any color.
Well, all you have to do is play God of War, and you'll see it.
because there weren't any.
because of Sweet Baby doing the right thing and giving us Black Vikings.
That's like when they
So Sweet
they took
Baby.
the AI. They said generate pictures of Vikings, and they were all black.
So Sweet Baby is a company
Yes.
forcing wokeism on my video
They are
games.
100%,
a
yes.
firm that you can hire that will come in and help you diversify your game. They
Right.
will help you make decisions.
And then if you don't do that, then they go on the rampage against you.
yes,
Mhm.
And they get all of your corporate
Which-
sponsors and all your backers, and they put pressure on them to take money away from it because money is what controls everything. It really does.
Yeah, that's what Echelon's going to say here.
I'm surprised though with like God of War and Spider-Man, because those are Sony exclusive games.
Yeah.
Are they not Sony Studios? Because Sony
God of War definitely
themselves
is.
are very not. I hate to say not woke. That's
They
not
used
the
to-
right term.
N-
But they have like Stellar Blade coming out, and they don't care what anybody's thinking. Now that's not a PlayStation
But that's part of it.
game.
Stellar Blade, people are getting onto Sony because of their previous things that they have done. How can Sony allow this to happen?
That's true.
And it really, I mean, she is over sexualized to a sense because she looks like a big blob of Jello when she walks.
True. But that's the style of game too. Like if you go back to all those styles of games, they were all like that.
Yeah.
It's not like anything's new.
Right.
So to say it's over sexualized, sure it is. But what in entertainment's not?
Yeah, I mean, like if you mod
I mean-
Skyrim to have like bouncy boobs, I mean, they're filled with helium.
Yeah,
I
like
mean, it's like, okay, this is not realistic.
but Stellar Blade also, you're running around slaying these demon-looking creatures that are spawning from the ground. That's not realistic either.
It's fantasy, yes.
It's a fantasy game.
Well, people didn't used to care. I mean,
No, you played the game because
Street Fighter never had an issue with that.
No.
Soul
No.
Calibur has the same issue.
Oh gosh, Soul Calibur got
Soul Calibur 4 was very flagrant in the way they
Yes.
animated their people,
Yep.
And so they come
Nobody-
out and you know, you had IGN, which is IGN is horrible, but
Oh.
IGN in France was just
yeah.
going off on Stellar Blade,
Mhm.
you know, because it was basically catering to a bunch of boys who have never seen a woman. That's what they said. It's like, well, they had a mom, so they've seen a woman and stuff like that. So
Yeah, they came out and said that, this isn't a real person or whatever, and then I can't remember if it was Nerdrotic or who, but he had a picture of the actual person who created that model,
Was
and
a
it
woman.
was the guy's wife or
yeah,
whatever.
right,
And it's like, it looks just like her in the face. Now, granted, other proportions are
yeah,
exaggerated, but it's like she's a beautiful girl,
mm-hmm.
and she's portrayed as a beautiful woman on screen. Why? What is wrong with that?
And that's what people,
Why do we got to make her fat and ugly? I don't understand.
because everybody's fat and ugly.
In America,
But see, a long time ago,
at least in the Sweet Babies,
but a
group
long time
probably
ago,
is.
like the 50s and 60s, before America became very obese, that the skinny woman, the fit athletic woman, was actually the norm.
Mhm.
Because they worked on farms and they worked in factories and they did all this.
If you go back and look at like when Kennedy was president, and you go back and look at all the video of the guys on the beach, and like everybody was fairly fit.
Yeah.
You didn't see any big people out on the beach.
our food is killing us.
Like that wasn't a
I'll tell
thing
you.
back then.
That's a whole other subject, but our food
You
is
know?
killing us.
And the schools promoted.
That was planned.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't have phones, and we
McDonald's was a plant to destroy our health.
They didn't have.
They've
They
done a
didn't
great
have.
job.
Yeah.
It's good
But
food though.
they didn't have none of the things that we. I mean, we were skinnier back in the 80s
Yeah.
because we come home from school. But get your butt outside.
Yep.
So this whole thing, though, like over sexualizing women in any type of media, anytime they're on a screen, is always a pendulum, right? It's always, we don't want to be seen that way,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then all of a sudden you have Shakira shaking herself all over the Super Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
and
Empowerment.
clearly they wanted to be seen that way.
Yes.
And then the women that are the conservative women are like, man, they've just set us back a decade of trying to not be sexualized like that.
That's what
It's
yeah,
like-
Madonna did it. Yeah.
Sometimes they want to be seen like that, and then they complain when they are
It
seen
depends.
that way.
Can they make money being seen like that? Yes. And I watched a great video of this guy. He was talking about OnlyFans. He said, "Here's where we're at in society. Okay, a woman can have an OnlyFans account, and you'll praise her. Oh, she's making money. Good for her. Doing her thing. The guy subscribing to it, you're like, you're a pig.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, now wait a minute here.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We have two differing opinions about
Yeah.
the same concept here. It's like you should be praising the guy that's watching it because he's paying her bills, right?
Right.
But oh no, he's a pig. But she's such an empowered woman who can get out there and just dance naked all over a camera. And
See,
it's
that's
okay.
swinging both ways now too. You're just reading about that.
Yeah.
I think it's Indiana. A teacher had an OnlyFans account and was relieved of her duties as a teacher.
Which
And
she should be.
and maybe that's justifiable.
I
But
think it
now
is.
she's being fired from job after job because she has that OnlyFans account. So how can we praise a woman for having
That's
that
the
account
thing.
and then
Yeah.
penalize her for it?
because
Yeah.
nobody
But
wants that
seriously, I
associated
mean, it's
with them.
softcore porn. I guess.
Oh, it's not. Sometimes it's not softcore.
Yeah.
Like these women are literally doing anything on their camera, and they're having dudes pay $5 to $20 a month to watch it.
It is porn
So,
without the industry.
Dudes,
Are you serious?
yes, dudes literally will pay money to see this woman do whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't comprehend that. You can talk about simps.
I mean, old days we used to call those people whores.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Now
I mean, it is.
Now they're empowered women.
Yeah.
They're empowered. They can just they.
To
make fun of
Shakira's
themselves.
defense, though, she did say the Barbie movie sucked because
Well,
it was
that's
it was
good.
trying
It
to
did.
emasculate men.
I
Yeah.
won't watch it. My
It
boys were like, we should
emasculated
watch it so to
men,
see how
and
stupid it is.
Her
I'm like,
boys
no, we're
didn't
not.
like
No.
it. So
Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna watch it.
okay, sorry, dude. We keep.
Yeah, what were we talking about again?
Yeah.
Sweet baby.
Gamergate.
You make me cut this video all up.
Yeah.
I know, but that's kind of where we are. To properly dive into this topic, though, we have to go back in time.
Oh.
August of 2014, about 10 years ago, there was an event. That event,
The original
now known as
Gamergate.
Gamergate
Yep.
to most,
Yep.
became a subject mired in controversy, rife with disinformation, and scrutinized by an audience far beyond the typical video game community after it basically went mainstream.
Kind of like now
Here's
when
what I
Matt
mean by
Walsh
that.
comes out. and
Just
he's
a
like,
few
"Ooh,
days
video
ago,
games."
The Guardian
Shut up,
published a
Matt
piece
Walsh.
about how it's been 10 years since Gamergate, but conspiracy theorists are still routinely targeting and abusing women and woke game consultants. That's a preposterous way to frame it, in my view, but that's the position we're in. Gamergate has become a pop culture term with widespread implications, and in case you don't believe me, here's an example from CNET. Gamergate to Trump, how video game culture blew everything up. Funnily enough, in the title, I don't know what to call it here, the blurb maybe, of the article on Google, the title is actually Gamergate to American Nazis, how video game culture blew everything up, which also demonstrates the level of rhetoric in play here.
So now
Side
because
note,
we're
this
white
article
men that
was
play video
written by
games, we're
Ian
Nazis.
Scher, the same writer who published a hit piece about me at one point in time. So yeah, there's a personal angle here as well, owing to how certain media voices have deliberately and vindictively attacked the video game community frequently over the past several
Well, how are
years.
they? I mean,
Gamergate has become an all
I get to what's the difference between slander and libel, but I don't know how these people, these journalists, and I mean seriously, you might as well call them grapefruit. That'd be a better.
Yeah.
How they get away with this crap when they just put this stuff out there
There's
and
no
they're
facts.
just trying to see what
There's
sticks.
Yeah, it's just
There's no facts.
Nope.
There's nothing to back up what they're saying, and they can just write these things, and I guess they classify it as editorial, and then by that the newspaper's not liable because it's just their opinion.
But I mean, if we did the same thing to them, they'd sue us.
100%. Yeah. I mean, if we said this dude who wrote that article right there was like a goat humping slut, we'd get in trouble for that.
Go down.
Even though we know that's the absolute fact. But I mean, seriously, I don't know how they get away. They just put this stuff out there because Gamergate was nothing like that at all.
No.
I kept even seriously. Why all of a sudden now white gamers are now Nazis?
Yeah. That's a
Because we just don't want this woke crap in our games.
yes. We want to play a video game to escape reality.
We want to get away from
We
these
don't
psychopaths.
want to. Yes, we don't want them in our games.
Right.
Is it that hard to understand?
Real world's bad enough. We don't want it in our made up worlds.
See, it just hit me now. I just thought about the shirt I bought from the Quartering when he was doing his thing. It was called escapism. That's what he called. That was his brand of video gaming. Was escapism.
Yeah.
To escape politics. To escape real world crap. That's why we play games. That's why people read books, to escape. To get their imagination going. It's the same thing we do with video games.
Well, that's what you do. You sit there and you play a game, and you're trying to just have a good time and get away from all this stuff. And here comes some fairy by in COD that has a lesbian patch on, or
whenever you're setting your character up, and it's like, what pronouns would you like to use?
Delete.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it's just stop.
Just stop it. I mean,
Just stop.
here's what I don't understand. How many times have we heard, hey, if you don't like this show with all the gay characters on it, just don't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
You're running out of shows to watch.
Yeah. But it's like, okay, I guess we can say the same for games. If you don't like this game, don't play it.
No, then
play
we're
it.
Nazis. Yeah.
But they don't want to do that. And we're like, okay,
No.
I get
They
it. I'm not
want
going
to
to watch it.
change our game.
We
for
got to
them.
change it because
Yeah.
you're nothing but a knuckle dragging Neanderthal,
Yep.
and we have to help you, and we have to change it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people get tired of. That people don't like nannies at all.
But here's
they
the
like
thing.
to be told what to do, especially gamers.
Here's the thing. These things keep getting pushed in games, but is it ever profitable?
No, they almost always lose money on it. Always.
But Sweet Baby Inc. is making money, so they don't care.
yeah.
It's not.
That's the
It's not the
problem.
company. I'm gonna tell you what.
But the game developers are losing money trying to support crap.
But
like
what?
this.
No. But what it is that you have BlackRock, and gosh, BlackRock scares the crap out of me. And those corporations who have this ESG thing, equity, whatever I can't remember the rest of it. And we've talked about this before, but it's just like you have to have a certain representation within your games and stuff like that. If you don't, we blackball you from investors. Nobody's going to invest in stuff that you're doing. And so they have a scorecard. All these companies have this scorecard. And if their score gets too low, they don't get investments. BlackRock doesn't recommend these companies invest in these other companies. It's blackmail.
100%.
And so what they do is, when we're just like, we'll just put your game out and let the market sort it out. No, it's more than that. It costs a lot of money to make a video game. You need backers, and you need supporters, and these companies have to have this money coming in, and they have to have it before the game is sold, so they can make the game. And so they go to these people and like, it's going to be 50-50. We're going to have inclusion and all this stuff. And that's where they get their money.
They're attacking bigger than this, though. I'm sure, Mike, you working in not an office but in a building, I'm sure you've seen some of the shenanigans when it comes down to hiring, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's not just how many people in my video game need to be of a certain color or a certain gender. It's who gets hired.
Right.
How many people can you hire? What color do they have to be? Do they have to be a part of the LGBT
It was
community?
like Charlie Kirk.
Can we hire a subcontractor? No, you have to hire a minority subcontractor and another contractor. It is everywhere.
Well, it's like when Charlie Kirk got in trouble because he, had a black pilot on one of his planes. He said, "I hope he's qualified." And it was like, that's racism. It's like, no, that's the truth.
I hope all my pilots.
Flying
Was this
off.
guy hired just because he's black?
Right.
Yeah.
Which I think would be demeaning.
Well, and the industry's capitalizing on it too. Like we see this in my field because I deal with subcontractors and doing other disciplines, other utilities for us. And there are large companies that will build small satellite offices in other cities so they get the minority vote. We're a small company, or we're a woman-led company. And you go to the website, it's all men at the top, but they've got a little satellite copy here,
100%.
here in the larger city that's next to us, and they get hired every time by the municipal. Yeah.
And every time I see one on there, and that's just a sad state that it's come, whenever you see one of these corporations and they come on television, they have some Indian speaking. It's just like, you were hired because you're a minority.
Yeah.
You weren't hired because you're the most capable person, which, like I said, would be demeaning and
I
insulting.
don't want to be hired because,
But
we
they
had
do.
to hire you for our score. It's like, no, hire me because I'm good at the job.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what, if these Indian gas stations around here don't start hiring white boys, it's going to be